Okay, so a couple things that I would like to clean up and improve. First, when we click right now, so let's assign a score. Let's do the 2s and the 1s and hope for a 2 or a 1. Okay, so I have a full house. When I click, it is re-rolling, but it's not animating for us. It's not re-animating. So if we take a look at the code, when we actually click, it's called do score. That's what's called. This dot roll is running. We want this dot animate roll. So that should do it for us. Now when I click, it animates the roll. The next thing I want to change is the text here. 2 re-rolls left is fine. I don't like that it says 1 re-rolls. And also I don't like that it says 3 re-rolls during the roll. I would rather it say, starting roll or rolling or something, just to make it clear that, you're actually not clicking that button during that part. So let's clean it up. Let's go to where we're actually rendering that text, this.state.rolls left. I'm going to delete that and make a separate method called, let's go with display roll info. And we're just going to use this.state.rolls left. I'll comment it out. And I'm just going to make a array of messages like this. And we have to think about what this.state.rolls left looks like. It's going to start at 3 and then go to 2, then 1, and then go to 0. So I'm going to build this array in opposite order so I can use the index or use this as an index. So the last message will be 0 rolls left and then 1 roll left. And then after that, 2 rolls left. And then the first thing that they'll see is starting round. Okay, and then we're just going to return messages of this.state.rolls left. So this will be a number. At the beginning it's 3, so we return starting round. That's index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. At the end, when this.state.rolls left is 0, we'll return 0 rolls left. Now all that's left to do is to call it in our button, the button text, which I think my autosave messed this up. So that would go right here, this.display roll info. So at the beginning it says starting round, 2 rolls left, 1 roll left, and now 0 rolls left. And then I click and it says starting round again. Cool. Next, there's a bug we need to fix. So when I click on somewhere like here and the animation starts, this button is not disabled. So I can actually click on it, which I just did, and you'll see that the dice change. So click, we get one set of values and then it updates again because I just called roll again and the animation doesn't happen, but because of the way the button is set up, I can still click it halfway through and I get multiple. That's not good. Look what happened. Our button's not happy. So our number of rolls left went negative, it looks like, and so we didn't have a message that was displaying. So to prevent all of that, where we're actually displaying the button when we're disabling it right here, we also want to disable it when rolling. So this.state.rolling. So we want to disable it when all of the dice are locked, or when there are no rolls left, or when it's animating, when the rolling is happening. So now when I click somewhere, you can see it's disabled. I can't click it anymore during the animation. I'm trying and I can't do anything. Okay, so that's another bug fixed. Next, I just want to clean some stuff up. So in my game component, I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the rule row, where I pull out all of the things, the properties I want from props into separate variables. Except this time I'm going to pull everything out of this.state. So this.state.dice, .locked, .rolls left, all of that. So I'm going to make a variable here, or multiple variables. Const pass in, so we have dice, we have locked, rolls left, rolling, and scores is being passed down over here. There you are. So scores equals this.state. And now wherever I reference this.state in this component, in the render method at least, I can now delete that all and instead simply use the variable names that I grabbed from this.state. So it just shortens things a little bit. It looks like I missed this one here. Let's make sure it all works. Everything's working still. I can lock 1, 2, 3. Let's try and get a 4. Okay, I have a full straight, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Large straight. Everything's still working. Awesome. And lastly, if we wanted to display a running total of all of your scores at the bottom, we could do that in a bunch of places. We have to think, does that belong in state? Is that a prop? And it doesn't really belong in either because we can derive it at any point from the information we already have. So if we go to let's do it in the score table JS, where we're generating all those rule rows. At the bottom of that table, let's make a place where we could display the total. So after this section, let's do an H2 that says total score. And then we'll add some variable in there. So how do we calculate the total? Well, what we have access to inside of score table is a prop called scores. We've seen this before. It's an object, looks like this over here inside of our score table. Right now it is empty. There's no scores, but if I start clicking and assigning some scores, we'll see, okay, 0, 0, 2. So we would add all of those up. We want to add all of the values in the scores. So we'll come over here and let's make a method. Let's just call it get total score. And we're going to return the total by looping over everything in this .props.scores. So let's loop over it. Let's do 4. And actually, I'm going to reuse this variable. So let's make one variable called scores equals this .props, and then I'll grab it out of there. Right there. Okay. So now I'm going to loop over for each key in scores. There's one thing I have to pay attention to, which is that all my scores at the beginning are set to be undefined. So it's ones, undefined, full house, undefined. So I need to skip those and add them into a new variable. So let's make a variable called total score. Starts at 0. We loop over all the scores, and then we're going to check if there is a value at that key. So if it's not undefined, then we're going to do total score plus equals scores of that key. So whatever that key is, get that value. So 10, 40, add it into total score. But only do that if there is a score present. And then at the end, we'll just return total score. Now down at the bottom, we can call get total score right here. Get total. Just like that. And nope, not just like that. This .get total score. So it starts at 0. Let's play for a bit. 2, 3. Let's do 2, 3, 5. No, let's do 1, 2, 3 and hope that we get a 4. No luck. Okay, so we're going to just do 2 2s. We get 4. Our total score updates. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Give me a 4, please. Okay, we got a 4, so I can do small straight. That gives me 30. 30 plus 4, 34. And it seems to be working just fine. Our score is updating. That's pretty much it. Everything I wanted to do with this exercise. There is a small thing that you could fix. The same problem we had before where you could click the button to start a roll halfway through the animation. You can actually click here to start a roll again as well. So if you want to lose the game by just assigning values randomly, you can do that. So you could prevent it by the exact same process we saw where you pass down a prop and then you're going to disable this selectively if rolling is true. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. There's a lot more that you can do with this. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Share your code, and thanks for making it through that.